All right, the next part that we are going to work on with our motif are the leaves on the outside. Over on our toolbar, below the line segment tool, so you'll have to go to the line segment tool, click and hold. You want to locate the arc tool, A-R-C, arc tool, and you just want to click once anywhere on your document to get the dialog box to pop up. So just click once after you choose your arc tool, click one time anywhere on your document. Okay, our length x-axis, we are going to type in 129, 129. You can have the px there or not. It doesn't matter. It'll put it in there if you don't, so it's fine. The length y-axis is going to be 222.
Like 3 2s?
Yes, 222. The type is going to stay on open. The base along is going to stay on x-axis. The slope, I need you to put that to 77. And now click OK.
77, right?
Yes. Did mine have a negative somewhere? Because it should not be flipped that way.
No, even if it's square.
Oh, I got to do the registration. Yeah, for me. Okay. All right. Now, because we stopped off yesterday, our stroke size is not correct. So with it selected, we need to change our stroke size to 15. 15 to make your leaf a little thicker. And now use your black selection arrow to move this leaf just somewhere over on the left side, kind of in the middle, coming off of this outside black circle. I don't want it to go past the black circle. I don't want this. Okay. I want it to be set up to where it looks like it is uniform and in line with that outer black circle. Something like that. All right, now we need to draw or get the other side of your leaf. We're making leaves out here. So we're gonna select your arc tool again. But this time, instead of clicking and having it do it for us, we're going to draw it. So naturally, when we think, okay, I'm gonna draw this arc, I'm gonna start from the top of my leaf and draw down. But you'll notice it puts the leaf in the wrong direction. I want it to be a little more open and not so closed. So instead of drawing from up here at the top of the leaf, I'm going to start down here at the black circle. So with my arc tool selected, I'm going to click on the black circle and hold and just draw up to the top of my leaf and let go. It is okay that your leaf has this little jagged point here, right here, because we're going to fix that in just a moment. All right, the next thing we need to do is choose our black selection arrow, because right now we have two different lines. Our leaf is two different lines. You can see that you can click on one and the other one isn't selected, or you can click on the other one. We need to join these two lines together to make one object. So to do this, I am going to draw a marquee over the top part, right up here where this point is, over the top part of those two lines, just like this, just a small little square to select both of them. With both of them selected, I'm going to join them, and I'm going to use my shortcut Control J. So do Control J. That should close off the point so there's no more gap, and now the line is joined together.
I think I kind of messed it up.
Okay, now we have one good leaf. And if you've seen the example, I'm not sure if you have or not, we have 3 leaves all together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our one good leaf, we're going to make a copy of it, and then we're going to size it down and get it into place. The way that I like to make a copy, the one way working in Illustrator that I find to be the easiest for me, is to hold down Alt and then just click on my leaf and drag, and that will create a duplicate. If you don't like to do that, you can also do Control C and Control V, or you can go up to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste. Now that I have a second leaf, I'm going to use my bounding box to size it down. And then you're going to have to kind of move it into proper place, and you'll have to rotate it. The bounding box will allow you to rotate and get it set up so that it sits perfectly on that black circle. I even use my arrows if I need to. Once you get the one smaller leaf done, you're going to copy that one again to put on the other side. So I'm just holding down Alt, and then I'm rotating and trying to get it into place. If you're, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So, okay, now that we have our 3 leaves, we're going to need to group them together. So, best way to do that is to click on your first one, hold down Shift, and click on the other 2. That way all 3 are selected. And then do we remember the shortcut to group? Control G. Control G.
Control J, right?
G.
Oh.
Control J joins them. We want to group them. Group.
Control G, right?
G. Control G. So now if you click off and I click on again, you should be able to move them all around together. At this time, while they're grouped together, if your leaves are going off the screen, you need to size everything down with one of the corner sizes to make it a little smaller so that your leaves are still on the screen. Mine are actually a little too big. I'm going to size mine down a little.
So how do you join them together?
Shift, you select each one by hold down Shift and click on each one. And then Control G to group. All right, now that they are grouped, we are going to make a copy of them and fill them into the other 3 areas on our flower, the other 3 corners. So I'm going to make a copy again. So I'm going to just click, so it should select all 3. I'm going to hold down Alt, and I'm going to click and drag it over to my other corner, and then you just rotate it and get it into place. And again, I don't want it past that black circle. It does not look good. There we go. That's good enough. They don't have to be perfect, evenly aligned. We just need them in all 4 corners. So here goes my next one.
What do I do now? Like, doing them again?
That is too far. Close. I also use my arrows sometime to get them into perfect place if I can. Oh, there we go. Okay, so your finished product should look something similar to this. So you have your group of flowers in all four corners. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of detail to our flower. Excuse me. So we're going to use our black selection arrow, and we are going to click on, let me see, it's this circle right here. I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe it. I don't know, third circle down from the top or second circle from the center. You can do either way, but it's, let me zoom in, it's this circle right here. We want to click on this one, the one right before the big gap. All right, we're going to go up to Object, and we're going to go to Path and Offset Path. And we are going to offset it by 36. Click OK. So it kind of puts a circle right in the middle, but keep it selected because we're going to make some changes. Over on our Properties panel, we're going to click on the word Stroke. Click on the word Stroke. We are going to change the weight to 66. Don't freak out. We're going to put a check mark by dashed line. The weight is 66. And put a check mark by dashed line. And now right below the dashed line, you have these dash gap area. We're going to plug in something here. So we're going to do, for the first dash, we're going to do 10. And then just use your tab key or click in the next one. For the next one, we're going to do 10. For the third one, we're going to do 10. And the fourth one, we're going to do 90. And then the last thing is right above the dash gaps, you have these two squares, right? Each one represents something different. Wait, please. I'll go over it again. Just give me a minute. Right above here, we want to choose the one that says Preserve Exact Dash and Gap Lengths. Then you may click off of your selection so nothing is selected. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a small pattern with a little floral motif type thing, or within the floral motif. So we're going to first select our ellipse tool. So please locate your ellipse tool. And we want, let's see, make sure nothing is selected because we're going to change fill and stroke colors, and I want to make sure you don't accidentally change it on something else. So if something is selected, you'll need to, you can go up to select and deselect. All right, so for our circle, we want the fill color to be black and the stroke color to be nothing. Fill color black, stroke color nothing, and then click anywhere on your document.
I think the person next to me, wait, never mind. That needs to be, wait.
All right, our width is going to be 23, and our height is going to be 62. 23, 62, hit OK. Then use your black arrow to move it into this upper gap right here, the same one that I am putting mine in. I don't know what you would call it. The upper part of your flower, right in the middle. All right, after we have this one in place, we are going to make another ellipse circle. So I'm going to click on the ellipse tool again. I'm just going to click beside this one that we just made. And I want the width and height to both be 15, 1.5. 1.5 by 1.5. And then use your arrow to just kind of get it centered and evenly on one side of this thing that we made. After that, make a copy of the very small one and put it on the other side also to make it even. Something like that. Okay, now we're going to use the anchor point tool to make this circle one that we made in the middle. We want it to be pointy on both ends, kind of like an eye. You know, if you had an eyeball or a cat eyeball. So we're going to come over to our toolbar. We're going to locate the pen tool and we're going to click and hold to find the other tools that are hidden below. And I want us to choose the anchor point tool. It looks like a triangle, or almost a triangle. With the anchor point tool, I'm going to come to this circle that we just made. I'm going to click, just click and let go, the top anchor point and the bottom anchor point. And then I'm going to click back on my selection arrow. Okay, so now we have our black selection arrow chosen. We need to select all three of these little objects we just made. So again, I'm going to click on one of them. I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to click the other two. That way they're all three selected, and we need to group them. Control G, group. Now we're going to make a copy. So I'm going to make a copy and I'm going to pull it down into the next open slot. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then you make one more copy down into the other slot that's right below it and make that one a little bit smaller too. So they taper down in size. And then just try and get them in the center. So it should look something like this when you're finished. Okay, now we need to click each one of these little things that we just made to group them together. So I'm going to click on this top one. I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to click the other two. And then I'm going to Control G to group it. And then leave it selected. We need it selected. The same way that we use the rotate tool to magically get our flower to show up, we're going to do the same thing with this decoration that we've added. So we've grouped this together. We have it selected. Over on my toolbar, I'm going to click on the rotate tool. Rotate. Now, I first need to mark where I want it to rotate from. What is the mark that I want it to rotate from? That mark is the very center of the flower. So I'm going to hold down Alt and I'm going to click. And it's going to put that little blue crosshairs right there, and the dialog box is going to pop up. We are going to plug in for the angle negative 21.18, so negative 21.18, and then click copy. And that should have put a copy right here. Negative 21.18. After that, do Control D as in dog to fill in the rest of them.
Go back?
Hang on just a sec. All right, so when you're finished, it should look like this. And save it.